y'all. Thought I picked out an appropriate song again for the opening to this segment and to this episode. In fact, the segment may well be the entire episode, as sometimes happens in the world of Welcome to My World with Dom. And today we're going to talk, tonight, in fact, I'll tell you why we're going to talk at night, because folks really seem to like the dating and personal life segments at night. And I usually get a little bit more commentary and a little bit more live commentary, especially when I feature it on something like Periscope. So feel free to tune in and I'll let you know when I do that next. Today I'm not going to, for a couple of reasons, but one of them being that I need my phone to read from my program notes, because this is going to be a more sort of specific, streamlined episode and segment. So we are going to talk, as I started letting you guys know, about the top 10 don'ts when it comes to dating. And I don't simply mean dating. I mean getting to know anybody that you might be interested in dating, getting to know somebody that you might be interested in simply having a physical relationship with. This is really across the board. So when I use the term dating, please don't get hung up on that and think, well, I'm not dating this person. I'm just, in it for the booty or whatever, just don't go there. Like this, I promise this does apply to you. Hang in there. I think you might get something out of this. Okay. So please keep that in mind. This probably does apply to you. It applies to everybody. I do find myself giving male clients this advice more often than I tend to give female clients this advice, and straight male clients more often than I would give LGBTQI plus male clients this advice. So keep that in mind. So without further ado, here are the top 10 don'ts when it comes to dating and romance and sex, and when it comes to getting to know that special person that you've got your eye on. Okay, so a quick caveat first. Nowadays, as you all know, as we've all experienced, much of the dating scene revolves around text, social media, and messaging. So some of these don'ts will obviously include what not to do when reaching out digitally to somebody that you're interested in. So, number 10, don't. And I say this with men in mind, so just being real with you, because this is advice that I often have to give to my male clients and friends when they ask. So, number 10, don't. Don't call her baby, honey, beautiful, sexy, gorgeous, or anything else other than her name. Don't do it. I know you're going to be tempted to do this. Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, do not do it. This goes for ladies and gentlemen who are looking to get to know a special man or even a special woman. This is not exclusive just to men looking to get to know women. Although, like I said, the majority of my male clients who have trouble getting to know women make this mistake often. Very often. Number 9. Don't use the following conversation starters, either in person or digitally, or in any possible way. I'm talking, don't even send these up in smoke signals. So here goes number 9. Don't use the conversation starters, what's up, what are you doing, or how's it going, or anything close to or similar to any of those terms, like what's up, what are you doing, how's it going. And by all means, for the love of God, please, for the love of my sanity, okay, please don't shorten what's up to WU or what's up or WTUP or God, whatever other lazy, ridiculous shortening of an already ridiculously short sentence you would possibly have come to your mind. Don't do it. Don't shorten what are you doing to WID. That is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. And frankly, to me, personally, because I do have guys come at me with that sort of silliness. To me, that's an automatic sort of disqualifier. Not interested. If you can't even write out an entire sentence, then how can I possibly expect you to have the intellect to connect with me on a human level or even a sexual level? I mean, my goodness, really, that's absolutely lazy. Don't do it. I think pretty much all women and all people, hopefully, but definitely all women, would agree with that sentiment, that it's ridiculous, it's inappropriate. Don't do it. So don't use those kind of conversation starters in the first place. And God, if you think about using them, do not shorten them. No W/U, no was up, no what up, no WATS up. Oh, that is one that drives me personally nuts. Again, no WYD instead of what are you doing. If you can't, don't use those conversation starters anyway, and I'll tell you why. Because the onus of the conversation, the burden of keeping that conversation going is now on the person you're talking to. My friend, you've started the conversation. It is not the other person's business or job to now entertain you because you've deigned to type WYD into your, text app or your messaging app and click return. Like, don't even. That's so not mature. It's not classy. It's not cool. And it makes you look lazy. Don't do it. And this is something, unfortunately, some of my male clients struggle with. And these are folks who are in other ways very, very well developed, very well positioned in the world. They're good people in other ways. But, when you telegraph the fact that you seem to be somebody who isn't able to hold a conversation, you seem to be somebody who isn't too intelligent to the person you're getting to know, that will be picked up on. That will be picked up on. I think it's important to note that whether you're talking in person, via text, on Skype, whatever, on the phone, what you don't say is sometimes as important as what you do say. And if you're neglecting to type out even a meager sentence like "what's up" or "what are you doing," and you can't even be bothered to do that, I'm sorry, you're not ready to get involved with anybody on any level, like even sexually. Because let's be honest, if you're going to get to know somebody on a sexual level, you're going to have to be able to discuss things like safe sex, for instance. And it doesn't have to be an unsexy discussion. It's not uncool to discuss stuff like that. What's really uncool is to come down with something like herpes and basically have that decision made for you from now on because you've unfortunately acted irresponsibly, or the partner that you're with or were with acted irresponsibly. So you're going to need to have a discussion, whether it's a sexual connection, be it a brief discussion about safe sex, what your preferences and interests are, or whether you're looking to date and get to know one another. So please, for the love of God, abandon the WID. What you doing? What's up? WU. Oh my goodness. Oh, no. Abandon that. That one is going in the trash bin, and you're going to have to go ahead and delete the whole bin. Just get it out of your memory. Move it along. Fill that space up with something more productive. Okay? And we'll talk about what is more productive later. I think one way to be more productive is to ask a specific question and to say something like, if you're following up with somebody, and I should get into this on the next segment, and I will a little bit more in depth, but if you're following up with somebody after you've met, after you've gone out, after you've connected on Facebook and met in person, after you met in person and got the person's number, whatever, okay, like, if you're connecting with somebody, if let's say you've just met, let's say maybe you've gone out on a date, it doesn't matter. If you're connecting with that person, you're going to want to be specific. You're going to want to, yeah, I know it sucks to have to do this, so put your ego aside, but you're going to want to reintroduce yourself. Hey, it's Mike. I had a lot of fun talking politics with you the other night at the Drinking Liberally event. I'd really like to see you sometime next week. How does Tuesday sound for sushi? So be specific, you know. Reach down and grab a pair, whether you're a woman or a man. Get what you've got in hand, reach down and grab it and use it and put it out there. Use it. Be bold, but not so bold that you're being disrespectful. Okay. So number 9 really was a doozy. So I really hope that if you don't take anything else away besides number 1, which is really quite another doozy, take that with you. Take number 9 with you. Number 8, do not use pickup lines. They're not cute. They aren't cute, folks. I'm sorry, they are not cute. And women especially hear them every single day. Don't use them. They're not cute. They're not complimentary. Whoever is telling you that they're complimentary is not having as much sex as they probably are telling you that they're having, because that kind of thing does not work. And frankly, if they are connecting with a bunch of people, it's not because of their pickup lines, it's in spite of them. So there's something else about that person that's really special that allows folks to overlook the ridiculousness of their pickup lines. So please don't take the advice of pickup artists. Take the advice of counselors, psychologists, coaches, consultants, therapists. Please, by all means, take our advice. Do not take the advice of the pickup artist that you met on Reddit, because I can guarantee you that person is living in their mom's basement, and really, how much sex are you going to have in your mom's basement, right? Honey, do you want some fruit roll-ups? So just keep that one in mind, okay? So let's move on to number 7. And folks, I do know that this is a tough one for many people, but please, for the love of all that's holy, do not comment on how much or how little you want to sleep with this person. Just don't. This is not a compliment and will almost always lead to this person feeling anywhere from mildly self-conscious to slightly icky to cringy to completely turned off to, oh God, call the cops. So don't do it. Now, moving on to number 6, do not wait more than 2 days. I mean, there really is a magic number about 2 days. Do not wait more than 2 days. I would say 24 hours is like the perfect time in my book. And I'll try to link it here if I remember, because I've got a million things to do. How to reconnect with a loved one who, isn't returning your calls, doesn't want to talk to you. So in How to Reconnect with a Loved One, and I'll try to link that here, I do mention that you should never wait more than between 24 and 48 hours to drive your point home. At that time, you have the advantage. Less than 24 hours, I would say you could risk sounding desperate. You could also risk sort of ruining that good nostalgic feeling that person has about you after you've met, after you've had a great time, what have you, after you've even just talked or gotten to know one another online, whatever. You could end up like chancing the possibility of turning them off, and you don't want to do that. So I say like 24 hours is pretty much a magic number. But if you're really wanting to be conservative about it, go between 24 and 48 hours, and you should be good to go. We're going to take a very short break, and I will be back with you momentarily.
Bitches, that's my fucking problem. And yeah, I like the fuck, I got a fucking problem. I love bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. And yeah, I like the fuck, I got a fucking problem. If finding somebody real is your fucking problem, bring your girls to the crib, maybe we can solve it. Hold up, bitches in my dime. Taking hella long, bitch, give it to me now. Make that thing pop like it's in me over now.
And we're back. So, just food for thought. That magic number is anywhere between 24 and 48 hours. If you want to be really conservative, go 48. If you want to be pretty forthright and just, getting on top of things, go with 24. Nothing to lose. Like I mentioned, go earlier than 24, you risk putting that person off. You risk seeming desperate or cringy or kind of ruining that nostalgic feeling. So I do say go between 24 and 48 hours. You'll be good. Assuming, of course, that all has gone well with your initial encounter or encounters. So, there you go. That goes for texting, that goes for, Facebook, that goes for all social media, that goes for iMessage, email, calling, Skype, whatever, reaching out at all between 24 and 48 hours for a follow-up after your initial encounter. So let's move down to number 5. Do not make statements. I repeat, folks, this is a good one here. This is a big one. Do not make statements that don't beg a follow-up reply. For instance, the Cubs are doing really well. Cool. Now what do I say about it? Maybe I don't even like the Cubs, really, right? Who cares? Now, of course, I love the Cubs, so don't come at me saying that I hate the Cubs. I don't. But just, something that was on my mind since the game was on. Don't say something that doesn't beg a follow-up reply. Don't say, nice weather we're having. And my God, people actually say that. When I first started doing what I do for a living and doing coaching and consulting and just, really working with people one-on-one, I was honestly horrified to see that people actually say that. They do. I know one person in particular who is very prone to saying that to people. And it's like, if you're talking about the weather, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel, my friend. You are scraping the very bottom of the conversational barrel. I mean, you're scraping up wood there. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's really nowhere to go from there but up, and it's going to turn people off. Say anything but, oh, great weather we're having. That's horrid. Don't do it. And if you've done it already, now you know not to. You're moving on. You're moving forward. It's not going to happen again. Don't punish yourself, but definitely learn from your mistakes. Don't sit there and think, oh, what a loser I've been. Absolutely not. You know now. You're learning from your mistakes. You're moving on. You're good. I've got you. You're good. And number 3, this is really important. On the same topic, basically, in the same vein of like talking about particular subjects, do not incessantly talk about one subject, including yourself, okay? Do not talk incessantly about one subject, and yes, folks, I'm sorry to say that includes yourself. Number 2, do not use the dreaded word soon when making plans, especially when it comes to men speaking to women. The word soon can be interpreted as, I'm not interested in making plans, so I'm going to go ahead and put that burden right onto you, squarely onto your shoulders. You make the plans. I've said soon. Now you make all the plans from here, and I'll just sit back and wait. That is not the way to be. Now, that's not the way to be a grown-up man. That's not the way to be a grown-up woman. That's inappropriate. That's immature. And it shows that you are not ready to connect with a person. You are not ready to connect with somebody else on a human-to-human level. And let's face it, even if it's going to be a sexual connection, you're going to have to connect with that person on a human-to-human level first. You've got to. That's how, the human mind works. You can say that it's all about sex or that it's all about this or that or whatever, and that's fine. You can think that if you like, but it really is about connecting on a human level, first and foremost, even in a casual way. It's extremely important. So keep that in mind. Now, Like I mentioned, there are more specific ways to address wanting to see somebody. I know it's scary getting to know somebody, but you're going to seem either totally lazy, totally scared of moving forward and approaching this person further, or totally arrogant if you use the word soon and then allow the burden to make plans to be on that person that you are interested in. If you are interested enough to make plans, you need to be specific, okay? So soon isn't going to cut it. Hey, next Friday, I see that band we were talking about is playing in, Chicago, if you live in Chicago. I see that band, let's say you were talking about Pearl Jam the other night. Hey, oh my God, Pearl Jam's playing and it looks like we can get tickets. What do you say? Let's go next Friday. There you go. So do not use the word soon. Do not fall back on lazy replies. And if you think, honestly, folks, no sarcasm whatsoever, no joking whatsoever, if you do think that little of yourself, that you don't think somebody would be interested ever in having a follow-up conversation or encounter with you, I think it would be in your best interest to do some work on yourself before you try to connect with somebody else. I know that society looks at dating and marriage and all of that as something that's really important and it's a life goal. I don't think it should be, personally. I think that the goal should be being happy. The goal should be, I want to bring something into somebody else's life as well as I want somebody else to bring something into my life. The goal should be, once I am as complete of a person as I can be in this moment, then I'm going to start looking for somebody else who's also a complete person, as complete as they can be for themselves in this moment. Okay, so it shouldn't be just a goal on its own. I do have oftentimes clients who come in saying things like, well, I just want to find somebody. I'm lonely. I want to find somebody. And when you go in with that attitude of, I want to find somebody, I want to fill a void, you have already hamstrung yourself. You have already lost. What you should be doing is saying, I'm open to getting to know different people who are, again, the best people that they can be, the best version of them that they can be in this moment. And you know what? Not only am I worried about what they look like and if I'm attracted to them and what they do for a living and what they're going to bring into my life, I'm worried about how attractive I am to them. Not overly so, but for instance, I'm not going to go for somebody who is a supermodel if I am a computer programmer or something like that. I realize I'm making gross generalizations, but just trying to prove a point, trying to drive that point home. So you're not just going to say, what do I want? Well, I want Tyra Banks. So obviously I'm going to go out and try to woo Tyra Banks. No, absolutely not. If you are a computer programmer making $60,000 a year, what exactly, my friend, are you going to bring to Tyra Banks' life? Really, what? I'll wait. Okay, so I'm assuming that you came up with a nice round number, like nothing. So that may sound a little bit harsh, but it is what it is, all right? And we're not talking about purely transactional relationships, just, money and just items and what have you. We're talking about, what can I contribute to this relationship with this other individual? What can I contribute? What can I bring into their lives that they may want? As a fully developed person themselves, what can I bring into their lives that they might want or benefit from? How might this person be attracted to me? Am I a good match for this person? So it's really, really important to do this. It is really, really important to be that introspective. So finally, number 1, drum roll, please. I know we've got a drum roll on here somewhere. Okay. We're going to go with the closest thing to a drum roll. Okay, number 1 is, folks, under no circumstances. The number 1 don't is something you should never do, ever. Absolutely never. It should never cross your mind. You should never do it. Don't even think about it. I warned you. Number 1 is, and I'm looking at you dudes, do not send dick pics, particularly unsolicited ones. But, it's dicey territory. And even if you've had sex, okay, even if somebody has asked you for them, it's dicey territory. And for Christ's sakes, if somebody has not asked you for one, why would you ever do that? Why would you send one? What would possibly make you think that would entice somebody to continue talking to you? What it's going to entice somebody to do is run and hide, and after they're done with a nice long cringe, probably call the police and simultaneously block you. So don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know why this is appealing or attractive. Maybe there are folks out there that buy into the size is everything. Oh, I will just show her how amazingly large my penis is, and then she'll want to have sex with me immediately. Maybe folks are buying into that fantasy. I don't know. But my God, is this something that you should never do? It is the absolute cringiest thing you can do. And yes, men, oftentimes we women have no recourse other than to show one another the hilarious picture you sent us and crack up laughing. Because if we didn't, we'd lose our sanity completely due to the sheer amount of dick pics that we're getting inboxed with no solicitation whatsoever. So please don't send dick pics. Now, this, of course, also includes the obvious follow-up of not asking the woman or the person in question for nudes. It's not appropriate. And, if you don't speak the language that person speaks, it's going to sound more awkward when you do send that picture or ask them for nudes. So, don't even think about it if you don't speak the same language. But if you do, also, don't even think about it, okay? It's absolutely and utterly, sheerly, ridiculously cringy and inappropriate and gross, and will result in you being blocked. You're not going to get anything from that. Nobody's going to say, oh my gosh, I wasn't interested in you before, but man, when you sent that dick pic, something changed. The switch flipped, and now I'm interested. Have you ever heard anybody say that thus far? Okay, there's a reason for that. Don't do this. This is an utter red flag event. It will likely lead, as I mentioned, to you being blocked immediately. So I realize that some of these are more in the obvious vein, in the, hey, dude, what are you thinking type vein of what not to do. But frankly, there are many people who struggle with some, if not all, of these issues. And it's really important, I think, to be able to note, hey, I'm struggling with this. I have to figure this out. I'm having a problem with this. So first, it's good to know what you're having a problem with and what behaviors aren't working for you. And then I think from there you can move on and find out what ones are working and what things are appropriate. So that's where we're going to go from here. Please do stay tuned within the next couple of days. I'm going to be doing some good do's and some good sort of dating masterclass. That's what I call my little spiel. We're going to do some little dating masterclass type do's. And we're going to be taking advice from many different people. I've actually kind of done some unscientific research and gotten some feedback from several different folks who were kind enough to give me their thoughts on the matter. And I've been collecting this information for quite some time. So I think it's a good little masterclass. It's a nice primer on what you should do now that you know what you shouldn't do. And you know what? I hope it helps. And really, with all joking aside, hey, we've got to be able to laugh at ourselves, right? Otherwise, where are we going to be in life? It's going to be a pretty darn solemn and depressing life if we can't laugh at ourselves. But all joking aside, I realize that people do have trouble with this. So I hope that this has helped in some way. I do, and I don't want you to think poorly of yourself if these are things that you have done, okay? Because look, you know now that there are things that maybe you should stay away from, stray far from in the future, and now you know what not to do. So I have every confidence that come the next time you meet somebody that you're interested in, you're not going to do these things. You're not going to fall back on these major doozies. You have closed that chapter of your life and you're moving forward, right? So that's the purpose of me doing this segment. I really do, this goes hand in hand with my book, which is available on Amazon right now, and I am going to link it here after I finish with this show. So wait for that link. My book is, of course, called How to Get Your Loved One Back When Someone You Love Has Closed the Lines of Communication. So it is available by paperback. It does cost to print. So the paperback version is $15.99. That is pretty much the standard price of any fairly comprehensive, if not short, book. And it's also, thankfully, available in Kindle format. And right now we do have a special going on. We've got a couple more slots left, not too many, apparently, where people can get this book for free if they borrow it from the Kindle Amazon library, or rather the Amazon Kindle library. So if you borrow this book and are willing to give it back, you're going to get it for free. Not for too much longer, but you are going to get it for free. So check it out. I'm going to link it for you. And if you'd like, you can buy it on Kindle. On Kindle, it's like $2.99. So again, you're avoiding the printing costs. And I really do just want to get this information to you. Sure, it's great to make money, but this is not what this is about. I really want to get this information to you. And I feel like if you are having some trouble in the dating sphere, and in the sexual connection sphere, possibly, I think this book may actually be for you, because it's very possible that, like many people, whether you're having issues or not, getting to know folks that you're interested in, you may have somebody that you care about very much who has cut you out. Maybe you did something that was listed in tonight's don'ts. Maybe you said something that person took wrong. Maybe you said something that wasn't very appropriate that person took as is. This book will help you to get this person back, and thankfully for you, you don't have to call them up. You don't have to Skype them. You need one way to contact them, and I'm going to have you stick with that one specific way. You need one way to contact them. And it's going to have to be something in writing, like email, like messenger, like text. And you go from there. Pretty simple. And like I said, it avoids that headache of having to confront the person one-on-one, in person. It avoids that headache of having to call or Skype or what have you. So check it out. This is my job, to try to be here for you, to try to help you to be the best version of you that you can be. And I hope that I am succeeding in doing that, even to some small effect. So go out there and use this information and have an amazing time. I hope you have a really wonderful, successful dating experience. And you know what? Thanks for tuning in. You're not alone. Have a great night, and we will catch you on the flip side.
Ooh, baby, like it raw with the shimmy, shimmy, yeah, huh? ASAP, get like me. Never met a motherfucker fresh like me. All these motherfuckers wanna dress like me, but the chrome to your dome make you sweat like me. Cause I'm the nigga, like how you figure, getting figures and fucking bitches. She rolling switches, bought her bitches. I bought my niggas, they getting bent up off the liquor. She love my licorice, I let her lick it.